Hi, Dex.
Hello.
How is your morning going?
It is going.
Mhm. Kristen, hi.
Hello. Sorry, baby just fell asleep, so camera's off.
Right.
No worries.
You doing good?
Yes, I'm okay. I am okay. Okay.
I like your filter. Adds a dramatic layer.
That's why I put it there to stand out. Center of attention is all I'm about.
Gotcha. Your alma mater. Hmm.
Elaine, I know we're on the main call, but just wanted to let you know that we've got good news for you regarding the summit issue. The only bad news is that we may be limited. We're looking at other options to pre-purchase ahead of time, but we may be limited to getting your access to the event on the day of. So.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I mean, I think if it has to be on the day of, I probably can't do it. Not for any like super bad reasons, but because I need to give my job like heads up. They have a policy where they will let me take time off for like attending like conferences and stuff. But
Uh-huh.
I need like advance like stuff for that, and I just don't think that I can work it out. But that's all right.
Well, it is a 3-day event, so maybe not be able to go the 8th, but you could go the 9th and the 10th, potentially.
Yeah.
That might
Yeah.
work for you.
Well, we'll have more information
It
either later today or by Monday, though.
Yeah,
If
no
that's
worries.
still good.
Also, like, I know you guys have your hands tied or anything. I'm not trying to sound like you know, you guys haven't been doing the absolute most you can. Thank you very much for everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're doing our best with the things within our control, at least. So
Yeah, thank you.
bear with
Also,
us as we crack a couple whips here and there.
yeah, Tex, I got your like follow-up email, but I cannot find the original email for the life of me. Like even when I searched that exact text that you sent as the title. Um,
Have you looked in your isotope?
oh, you know what? Let me check that. I'll check that because I have not.
I've asked for it to be resent to your other email, but
Yeah. I'll double check that email.
and I believe there should be a way for you to change your email in the member area. So if that's something that you want to do, let me know if you need help.
Thanks for keeping up with all these needed signatures, Lane.
Yeah, no worries. I mean, the least I can do is like read documents.
So we're confirmed Georg won't be able to attend 30 minutes in or until 30 minutes. Reshma and Arno are out. So
Yeah,
as well.
no worries. Okay. We can go ahead and get started. I'll pull up the agenda here in a minute, but it starts with the developer advocates. And while we have some additional time, maybe we can get an update on tooling if you have one there, Jordan. But I will pass this to Uche and or Emmanuel if you guys have some updates for us.
Um, yeah, so hi everyone. Well,
For my own end, there is no major updates. I mean, work is still ongoing. The DevX sessions is still going as well. I think for us, primarily the focus has just been around, doing the work we are supposed to do, but at the same time, trying to, you know, gather, yeah, trying to gather all of this into a report, because we are supposed to like do, like a Q4 analysis of like all the work we've been doing. So yeah, I think that's like pretty much, the focus right now. If I'm missing anything, maybe Emmanuel or Dan could, you know, help me out. But I think so far this is like what we've been able to do.
Yes, I can give an overview of what we've been up to, at least for the last 3 weeks. So we had a workshop, launching contributor workshop, that had over 100 attendees. The aim of the workshop is just to create awareness of the open source repos that are in Intersect, and maybe try and incentivize some activities to some of the repos that we want people to just try, do something open source, contribute to an open source repo, basically guiding them, for those who don't know how to contribute to an open source repo, how they can do that. During the past 2 working group sessions, we have had builders from the communities just come and talk about how they started building. For people who are coming, who are new to the ecosystem, how they can approach building on Cardano, things like how to identify projects that are important, how to get funding if you need funding, and those sorts of things. 2 of us are facilitating Cardano Africa Tech Summit Hackathon that will be held in Nairobi. So we are, our main role is just to facilitate the hackathon training. So there is a training period before the actual hackathon that will happen in February. So 2 of the advocates are sort of on the ground, just making sure the participants have all they need to be ready to build competitive solutions for the hackathon. Yes, so I think also in the past 3 weeks, Uche had a physical workshop in Nigeria, just to let people know about Intersect and what we are all about. So yeah, that's just a rundown of everything we've been up to in the last three weeks.
Yeah, maybe I can add one last thing. We had a one-to-one session with Shane. He's a member of the Cardano community. He was trying to build a hub in Zambia. And yes, we help him we direct him how he can start a hub for developers in Zambia. And yes, we now have a group with more than 44 members, 44 developers from in that group, and they will have their first meetup, developer meetup, next week. Yes, I hope next week. I think next week, and I'll be one of the panelists in the workshop in the meetup. Thank you.
All right, that's great stuff, guys, and I definitely appreciate you sharing. I know we only have 2 committee members here right at the moment, but I do want to take this moment to share with you a reminder, if you will. So in GitHub, I believe you all should have access, but if not, you can visit the Intersect MBO organization. You can go to, actually, just from the overview page, I'm sorry. At the bottom, one of the pinned repos here is Open Source Office. So again, if you're not following any other link, then you can come through here. when you visit projects, you'll see the developer advocate program. And our developer advocates, as they are finishing and their achievements, if you will, they are sharing the information here in this OSC TSC review. So they all have the necessary access to be able to move these tasks around and whatnot. So please feel free to review anything that is in this category with your thoughts on it. The more information that I have, the better. Otherwise, it's just going to be a review that is done by myself. And again, previously the committee has agreed to essentially divert or delegate the management of this program to myself, but it is still an OSC budget initiative or budget item. So your input is important here. Okay. Let's see. Let me go ahead and pull up the agenda. Sorry for the delays. Okay. So, in case anyone is not aware, we'll go through this a little bit here, but we do have the board in ClickUp for the committee. Specifically on the board is going to be the paid open source model, and we do have different statuses of delivery here. So, again, as previously agreed, we've canceled the Cardano or Google Summer of Code program. So I've reflected that accordingly. Right now with Intersect, the security or incident management line item is on hold, but this is a contract that has previously been signed. So actually, let me indicate that. That way we can see both here. Developer Advocate Program is technically going to be on milestone 4. That is the first quarterly reporting that we do. And so other milestones have been submitted already. The Code Forest program, it's still in planning, meaning that we still need to write this program. The Accelerator program the same way. And project support services the same way. Now, if we include all of those that are in planning, meaning those 3, and then the one that is canceled, that is 4 programs. The remaining are the other 6. The other 6 are essentially have already been signed, or they're still in drafting. So we're going to be finalizing some drafting on the maintainer retainer stuff to get that across the line. Tooling has already been signed, bug bounty signed, again, security and incident manager signed. This one here, I guess I can also leave signed on that just so we can see it. And obviously the travel budget. So the travel actually, I believe, is probably on M3. I will double check that. All of this that I am doing here is all things that you as committee members can do. So you may choose to leave that to me to update these statuses, myself or Intersect, and that's totally fine. But I do need some help as far as going through the different line items and making sure that we have the milestones associated correctly. So the stuff that's actually in the contract or the statement of work is different than what we have here. I'm going to do my best to keep updating this, including the dates, but I can't do it all by myself. So that's where I'm willing to provide additional training, be that in meeting or otherwise, to allow the committee members to help me out here. We can also assign this here, which is another item that's on the agenda. As we scroll down, we do have the agenda here on the same list. So here for today, we've already taken care of the developer advocate check-in. We're going to talk a little bit about the working groups, but right now we're not in the decision-making stature based on quorum, so we're going to have to hold off on that. Same for interview endorsement here, so that's kind of why I've jumped to ClickUp. I may be repeating myself a little bit because this is a longer meeting. We have people in and out, so I will kind of pause on onboarding and training here. I'll take some questions here in a few minutes, but let me go ahead and go through some contract updates. I will send this back around later in the meeting when we do have quorum. But for those that are here, we are submitting a change request form for the tooling sustainability program. Basically, right now, what's been requested of myself is to complete the milestone acceptance forms, and I've been unable to do so effectively. Let me try to zoom in here a little bit so you guys can see this better. but we've got in here that the change request is affecting the milestone due dates. Basically, the reason for this is that due to funding delays and lack of proper coordination between the tooling working group and the open source committee, we have to adjust these milestone dates to actually do something that is achievable. And we'll see the details here in a moment. Justification just goes into more detail in saying that we were not able to get the stablecoin conversion. And then again, we just need some better coordination between the tooling working group and ensuring that what happens in the tooling working group is brought back to the open source committee for proper decision making. The impact assessment, this just goes through. Timelines are being extended, but the milestone delivery remains the same. There's no expected cost implications with this change. There's no higher cost to this, and the money associated for each milestone is still the same. As far as the quality, we expect the quality to improve, is what I've written here, because we should have, again, extended time to deliver on these milestones here and better and new communication structures between the working group and the committee. Overall risk is expected to be low. So what does this mean, or what's actually changed? We have the milestone number, current, new, current, new, current, new. So again, these amounts are all the same. Nothing's changing as far as the amount attributed to each milestone. Payment dates are always going to be set typically about 1 month afterwards. Do need to check on this here. So I've set this for 30 January, and that may have to go to 30 or 28 Feb, but we will check on that. But essentially scoping, what's going to happen is that the scoping milestone acceptance form, I'm expecting that we should be able to complete that within the next 10 days. Scope has already essentially been written. It just needs to be committee approved. And if we can't do that today, then we can do that next week in the working session. Jordan, this is where your input in a moment will be important. The selection process, this is what I've extended to the end of January here. Basically what that means is that we only have about 2.5 weeks remaining, or 2 weeks remaining right now, before Intersect goes on holiday. And so this is just to make sure that the committee has enough time to actually approve the selection process, and that the working group has enough time to actually finalize that selection process. The last thing here is the 5 tooling projects. We've already had multiple projects apply. It's a matter of whether or not we're going to accept those, but we do need the selection process validated and published before we can actually follow through and accept something. And so in that particular case, we've set this to go all the way to February. That seems pretty far out, but we will need to obviously do that a little bit. We need to have the time to get it done, and we can finish this early. It's delaying on payment, but when we get milestone 2.3 through, we're already going to have 400,000 ADA plus an additional sum that came through as initial allowance. So we've got plenty of ADA to work with. That shouldn't be an issue based on the payment constraints of the program as I understand it. So nothing that's super major, just extending this to a point where we can work with it. Again, we're not court quite yet, so I'll wait to take a vote on that. But does anybody have any questions on the change request for the tooling program? Okay. I would say, and this is pretty general, most everything else is working as expected, but as we go through some more of this, we can kind of see and find where our problems are. Okay, let me ask here and now. I'll pause here for a second. Jordan, do you have anything that you can tell us more on the tooling working group? And yes, I'm aware you just recently took it over, so.
Yep. So I believe that was on the 21st. We had a meeting with the tooling working group, and essentially within that group, we didn't have quorum in that session, and it's a little bit uncertain right now on the member status of who is in the tooling working group. I know there's a running list somewhere, but I was having a hard time finding it on who's actually going to be participating in the tooling working group. It's definitely important for them to attend those sessions. right now, as far as status, there's still some remaining questions on the milestone agreement forms that need to be sorted out and voted on for us to have that process completed. And so I was hoping the following week we might have a session, but that got canceled, and then so it's kind of been delayed until now. Now that we have a few more members that are participating in the working session today, so I'd like to revisit again who officially is participating in the tooling working group and who maybe is not participating or is no longer participating so we can resolve the remaining questions on the acceptance form here.
Okay, wonderful. Are there any general thoughts from any other committee members about what quorum should be? How many members do we need to have in that tooling working group? Noting that decisions are still forwarded back to the open source committee for finalization.
Yeah, from my side, I'm in the hi everybody. From my side, I'm in the working group. I guess because of the activities during November, some members like myself, we were unable to attend the meetings during November. But I'm part of the working group, so I'm ready to restart my work on the group. Yeah, thanks.
Okay. All right. I've made a note of that. Is there anyone else who would like to participate in the tooling working group? Yep, go ahead.
Yeah, so I previously led some of the initiatives in that group, and I think I'll still want to participate, but not as the lead of the group because I currently have other responsibilities that probably rank higher, but I'll still want to be in the group just to see how things are going and follow up.
All right, I will make note that you'd like to be a member still.
Yeah, and
You'll
just
have
for
me
clarity
here.
across the board, Emmanuel, there we've asked Jordan to take that over since we were without a lead or without a dedicated lead. So please don't feel any pressure to worry about how that group is being led. But yes, we do welcome your participation there. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
And then I don't have my full running list up here, but Elaine, were you a part of this working group?
Tooling working group?
Yes.
I don't think I was particularly involved on that one, if I recall.
Yeah, you had Arnaud, Leonard Hegarty, Rupert Whitehard,
Yeah, I do
General
remember
Group.
having Arnaud on that.
Yeah, and Adam Dean. If it's later in the day, Adam will probably still participate.
Is Adam still participating after getting off the committee?
On certain things, he's interested in tooling specifically, but it needs to be in his time zone.
Okay. Thanks.
All right, so I've got Sebastian, Emmanuel, Arnaud, Rupert, Adam Dean, and then myself. So that's 6 members. And then I'm not sure what we need for quorum in that regard, just so we can change the meeting time a little bit later and resolve these lingering questions. Maybe 3 out of 6, or I don't know. Is there something written currently?
I think there's a charter for it. Yeah, that outlines voting procedure, at least. I'll link it to you.
What time is the meeting you said?
Every Friday at it's 5 a.m. PST. Not sure the conversion there.
That sounds like it's good for me to. Not that
7
I'm
a.m.
planning
Central,
on.
8 a.m. Eastern.
Yeah. That's 10 p.m. JST for me, which is workable at the moment. So yeah, I don't plan
I'd
on
like to
attending
push
all
it
the time.
back
I was
like
just curious.
an hour or two.
No. That's fine. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. So allow me to go back and share ClickUp once again for the committee members that are here. What questions do you have between ClickUp and the Google Drive, and how comfortable would you feel, even if that means scheduling a one-on-one with me, in terms of updating the titles of these milestones so we can start tracking them appropriately? Because we do have the ability to change these taskings here. Why am I doing here? We can actually change from milestone to in progress or milestone active. So we've got a lot of different statuses that we can apply to things here.
So that again,
Once I save it on my browser, I can take a look.
Sorry, what was the what did you mention about the task list?
My current question to the committee members is, how comfortable do you feel working within this platform? What other training or questions do you all have or need?
Oh, so there's actually a suggestion that I got from the one-on-one I did I think yesterday with Georg about that like ideally like one thing that we might want to consider is having like a shared document like on ClickUp, because I assume you can have documents on ClickUp, but having like a shared document open during the meeting so that people can like add to it and contribute collaboratively, instead of like only having the agenda like.
Yeah, I spoke some more with Georg about that as well. And as far as that's concerned, I mean, if the thing is that we're going to talk about ClickUp onboarding or training, there's room for us to write here in a description. All of you have the same access here as far as editability. There's also comments where we can have a chat specific to the agenda item within this platform. So I don't think that there's anything that we need to add. If we need to link files, we can upload them here as attachments, or we can actually just paste a Google link into here, and that would tell us what it is.
Yeah. Is it possible? Is it possible to like, does ClickUp have like a Google Docs thing? Is it possible to like have like an associated document with the item?
I believe I want to say yes to that, but I'm not sure of the intended benefit. What I'm saying is that this is already serving as a co-working platform. So the ClickUp application is effectively the document.
Yeah. Okay. That I see what you mean. We just got to change how we're using it. Yeah, that sounds good.
So
Probably got a lot of
in
mileage out of
more
it.
perfect example here, sorry, let me check this comment. Bear with me, hang on. So yeah, we did have to change this to the 28th. So I don't see any major issues there, but just an update. But something like this. So milestone 2.2, 2.3, 2.4, that's all moved now. So that's 15 December, 30 Jan, and then 15 February, right, is what those due dates are. And if I go back to ClickUp here, we have milestone 2.2, right? That I can actually change to 15 December as to when that's due. This one would now be due 30 January of 2026. And then this one here, 2.4, I believe we had 15 Feb. So it's as simple as that, where we're actively co-working here. 2.1, I can change this as a Kickstarter. I'll check that term. But everything like I'm doing live edits here, you guys can see. And so this isn't 3+ projects. This is actually scoping. And then this one is keep the abbreviation min 5 projects accepted by OSC. But again, if we're talking about a specific milestone, you guys can come in here and comment and say, I love this. I hate it. Why does Tex ask the world of us? Or whatever you want, you know. But yeah, so Jordan, definitely appreciate you, taking the lead on the group here. Even as you have the group, you can upload stuff into here, whether that's a Google Drive link here in the description or an actual file or PDF. That is something that's going to help me as far as completing the milestone acceptance forms. But probably the links are going to be better because we'll need to move from those links to stuff that actually gets published on the open source committee page. I do need to provide links to publicly available stuff, and obviously we're not going to publicly share this ClickUp board here. So there'll be a certain aspect of things needing to get published, and we can see in action each of those milestones as we go through. But yeah, so basically just like I did for these, I changed the title to what it is, set the due date accordingly. Pardon me if I'm throwing a lot at you guys, but I can go into the drive of open source committee and the treasury file here. This is the important one, this signed contracts, where you guys can go and look at what's actually signed, right? So if we go into here, you look at this first one, you understand that we're working with the bug bounty program. Now that's a bad example, so I'm going to skip that for a moment. Let me go to the next one. So the next one in this same file is the travel budget. Well, the travel budget has something that was due 30 September, which we've done. We should be able to mark that complete. It's listed as Q1 OSC events, but yeah, actually, so we still need to compile this. This is the active one that we're working on. We need to know what events the OSC is planning to attend in Q1, right? So for the titles of these here, milestone 10.2 is Q4 events, 10.3 is Q1 events. I'm going to flip back over. And if I go and look at, where's travel here? Open source events travel. So let's expand this here. We don't have 10.0, so I'm going to get rid of that. That may be something I have access to. 10.1 is the Kickstarter. .2 was again Q4 events. That one had a due date of 30 September. This one has a due date of 30 December. And this one is Q1 events. Now, all of that's kind of stuck in my head, right? I was just doing that as an example. But the point is that you guys can pull this stuff up side by side, check what the milestone is, check the title of that milestone, and then check what this due date is. And there shouldn't be any reason why you all can't, again, make the updates just like I did. Make sure that the name reflects correctly and that the due date reflects correctly. I did see that we had a couple others join in here, but for those that have kind of been here through this, any questions on how to work with this? Okay. Let's scroll back to the agenda. I understand we're just past our normal starting time, so welcome to everyone who has come in. If you're a committee member and you haven't, please make sure to get your introduction in. Jordan and I will put the ClickUp link in the Discord.
I just logged in, so I should be good.
Oh, okay. I'll still put it there for anyone who might need it. So. Okay. Okay. Apologies here. So we do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we are just barely quored at the moment. I know we have 2 that have declined, 1 we are unaware of, and 9 members altogether. So that just leaves 1 that is missing or unaccounted for right now, or 2 rather. But we'll get to going. We are court. We can make decisions. Previously, for those that have missed a part of this, basically, we did start this a little bit early so that Elaine could attend or get a full meeting out of this, so she does need to leave early from the normal time. We will stay for the remainder of the time to make sure that all these questions, any questions, can get answered. But we'll move into the decision-making piece here. The first one up is the AI policy working group closure. So basically, we agreed to start this working group. It hasn't been picked up or adapted, and right now we shouldn't be holding on to working groups that aren't doing anything. We can bring it back at any time. From the committee members, I'm watching, I've got 1 upvote here. I can put this in a poll if I need to. Does anyone, we'll just use a lazy consensus here, I guess. Any committee member have an issue if we close the AI policy working group?
I think as long as we keep in mind that we can reopen stuff, like when we get more time, I think it's perfectly fine.
Yeah, I'm only proposed this just because time constraints on my end, so I can't lead it unless someone else wanted to pick it up. I can help facilitate support for it, but if not, we can look at 26 for it.
Does anybody have interest in leading it? If not, we'll just close it and maybe bring it back in the future.
I agree.
Okay.
Okay. For the time being, we will consider that working group closed. Christian, I was asked to put the smart contract working group on here as well. Do you have any updates for us?
Yes. So just FYI of my intent with this, if the OSC backs me, this was an initiative I was asked to help curate about standing up a standards body for smart contract auditing. It seems to be an interest, but I haven't gotten anyone from the community to chair this, which is not anything. I'm kind of giving them a week to decide if they want to pick this up and continue it. I have the resources for them to run it. I just don't have the bandwidth to do it myself. If y'all are okay with doing it, the whole point of this was setting up a temporary house for them to coordinate and put together their intent, and then set up a body outside Intersect to run it. So I'm proposing to close this in a week's time if I don't get someone to get up and run it.
I'm interested in running this, but like, what would be the like time commitment for this? Because as you might know, like I'm a little bit limited on time recently.
It's basically on y'all's cadence. I already know of 13 people who are willing to participate. They just can't lead it. Basically, most of the Plutus working group, high assurance team, Nick Clark from Tweeg, and a few others, just because we need to set standards on smart contract auditing. I think it has a lot of usage, but the cadence is up to the lead to determine. We already got the Discord channel for it, and I can make sure people attend the events, at least ping them and stuff like that. And I already have an outline on what the output should be. So, at least
when you said people wanted to like contribute, when you said people wanted to meet, like, are they willing to like contribute significantly, or is this just like as like observers?
They will contribute significantly, at least the technical people that are involved. They just need someone to spearhead setting it up, because the whole first foundation of this is setting up a consortium similar to like CDEC, to run the standards thing. And I have the experts to help collate it if it's required. I just can't be the face of it at the moment. So
I'm interested in it. I would not close it at the moment.
Okay. Then I will work with you, Elaine, and I'll get this formally set up, and we'll see if we can get attendees in a week.
Thank you.
If that works for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Please.
I'll take it offline.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. A couple of other decisions that we're going to keep moving through. The first one, because it's being sent out for signature right now, I want to go back through this change request form. So for those that may have missed the update here, basically we're requesting changes through the administrator to extend the milestone due dates for the tooling sustainability program. The reason that we put in here is because of delays in receiving funding, as well as a lack of coordination between the tooling working group and the open source committee. Obviously, there's many plans, including a committee member now leading that working group to help ensure that communication and decisions are funneling appropriately here. There's some additional justification here. And then the assessment of the impacts here is that we're just extending the due dates. We're not changing anything within the milestones. Nothing changes with cost. Quality should improve, and there's a low risk with these changes. In any case here, here's a quick look at the date extensions here. Basically, we were hoping to get stuff done right away in October. That did not come to fruition. So this moves here to December, end of January, and then middle of Feb. So just real straightforward. The next milestone after this is not due until April. So there's still time between where we've extended and what the next achievements that we have to make are. And again, the amount of work being done here is that we only have to get to a point of having accepted at least 5 projects by the middle of February. So just giving us more flexibility. As it stands, this is again being sent out to myself and Elaine for signature. Just want to ensure, since we are in meeting, that there are no major qualms with these changes to this program.
Looks good.
Okay. So I will go back. I didn't have a specific item for that, but that's just part of the contract updates. So I'll leave that pending there. I'll change that to agenda as well. So the maintainer retainer program interviews. Previously, there was some delay in those interviews getting into the drive. I do apologize about that, as I was out for a week, but everything has been moved accordingly. It can be found within the interview folder. in the maintainer retainer program under that possum style in the drive. So if anyone needs help getting around the drive, please let me know at any time. But basically, there was a decision to accept 4 of the 5 that were interviewed and push them along to the project level interviews. If we need to go in detail to take a look at that, Christian may have some more information that he can share. But basically, we just need to sign off on this because Johnny was a decision maker here. Obviously, he was a former committee member, and as he's not currently a committee member, we do need other committee members sign off in order to move this forward.
Yeah. Since we can't really disclose who the people are on this open call, it is in the Discord. What the evaluation was, Georg and Sebastian were able to attend some of those with Arno and Johnny. But me and Johnny did go through all of them and kind of reached a consensus on those 4, and that's our recommendation. If y'all are good with it, I'll get the project team interview scheduled next week, and then we can at least get our first maintainers integrated with projects if things go well.
I have not had a chance to review the candidates, but I think at this point I just need to call it. Could you send me the recommendation on who will who yourself and Johnny like and co like selected, and I'll
Yep.
take a
Sure thing. We also have the recorded sessions too. You can watch if you need to.
So I've just dropped the link for those for the whole thing for maintainer retainer program, which does have the interview recording folder in there. But Elaine, I believe what you were asking for, there is a screenshot that is in the OSC Discord there. It's from Christian just yesterday.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I did have one question for discussion related to this. Considering we added in a founder track to community projects, specifically, not necessarily core, I didn't know if a project team interview makes much sense in the sense that the founder is the project team. He might have a co-partner. I didn't know if maybe we need to style the interviews for them for the OSC to be the technical review and not necessarily a formal questionnaire cadence that we were doing for the other projects for community maintainers. And just because I think it makes more sense that the founder is applying to have the project supported via, or him being retained on it, and the OSC just needs to accept that project or not. So just a suggestion. Slight scope change for the founder track, at least. Let me know if I need to better elaborate what I'm suggesting.
I'm not sure I
We
understand.
were talking about. Sorry.
So the maintainer retainer, we have the community maintainer process, which is what we developed first, which is they do an interview with the OSC. If they do good with that, then they do a project team interview, then they get integrated with the project. Since November 6th, when Adam brought it up, we are now encouraging founders of community projects to apply. We did have one of them come through the interview process, but it became this, since they are the founder, there's not necessarily a project team for them to interview with post our interview per se. Like we have to work around and cut corners to try and make that integrate. So I'm proposing, instead of doing the process for the community maintainer, we alternate that. If it's a founder applying, we do a more in-depth interview, and it's not a script interview that we run through. So that way we can actually just move them into whether we support this or not. Tex?
Yeah, I would actually suggest that we do not build another process to this. I understand I can't motion this, so a committee member would have to say that they want to put this up, and maybe another to second it here. But I would think it would be better if we just excuse or exclude the project interview for community projects, however that goes here. I'm trying to find the right way to write that. But I think we just exclude that requirement from the process as opposed to creating a completely different process. Or expanding.
I'm in favor of that, yeah.
Yeah, we could exclude that. Maybe then to accommodate the more technical things, we have the open-ended questions at the end of the scripted interview. And that's where we can, because it's more of a decision of, are we supporting this person and their project, not necessarily them integrating into the project per se. So. Sebastian did a lot of the interviews, so I'm interested in his thoughts.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with Tex. We should standardize the format. And at the end of the day, I'm a founder, right, of a project. I understand that part. But at the end of the day, it's Intersect Cardinal Community Program. So maybe we can keep the main decision making scenario in the Intersect in the open source field.
Just for reference, I've gone to polls on these particular items. Basically, the change request form, that's a signature by myself and Elaine, so we hold the responsibility from you all. That's why we accepted that as lazy consensus here. And then the working group's the same way, but for these, we do need to track actual decisions. That's for the maintainer retainer program, accepting the interviews, and then in this case, excluding the project team interview for founders of community projects that are added as maintainers. So please, as a voting member, respond accordingly to these polls. Otherwise, we will have to recycle those asynchronously.
Hold on. I didn't see the poll thing.
Yeah, there should be either a little triangle or a series of 9 dots in the bottom right of your Google Meet window. You should see polls as an option there. One.
I had one last point on this too, which just came up this week. And it's no action as of right now, but there's SIP editor body, which is kind of standards, based on a change in Catalyst funding rules. The main guy who runs that is no longer having funding and is stepping down, leaving only like 2 people serving in the SIP editor process right now. And it became a question of how do we support it? The maintainer retainer program was brought up, and by the periphery, it potentially can include, because there is an actual repository that they tie into, and we could sponsor 2 people to be a part of the SIP editor body. I just wanted to concur if that is a option that the OSC is willing to propose to the people to decide how they want to resolve this issue. If we need to discuss it further, I can bring someone in who's more qualified to explain it than myself, because I only have a periphery understanding at the moment as well. But if y'all are okay, then I can approach them or have them come on our next call to explain it better.
Yeah, on the call would be good.
Okay, I'll do that.
Not with the intent of throwing anybody under the bus. I do note that there is an abstain here. I don't think that's going to defunct the vote, but on the project interviews, just want to confirm if that was from a committee member, if there's a reason for the abstention.
That was from me, and it's just because like I would like to, like, I have their names on the spreadsheet, but I want to look at their interviews before I mark them. Like, even if I can't do like reviewing everybody.
Okay. I would still note this is moving forward, though, as we do have essentially a successful vote out of the court members that are here. And then also the remaining committee members that are not present, at least one of them was involved in making that core decision. So going to consider those 4 candidates as moved on to the project interview stage. And then again, we're just missing 1 vote here on the exclusion of the project team interview for the founders. So if you have not voted yet as a voting member of the committee, please make sure that you do so. Okay, back on the agenda here. I realize I haven't gone through contract updates in whole. What I'd like to do is kind of go back to just ClickUp in general. What I was explaining, as some of you may have seen coming in, is that changes are pretty straightforward to make here within this dashboard, and everyone on the committee has been given access. So we'll get more down to focused responsibilities here in just a moment, but does anybody have questions about how to work within the ClickUp dashboard here? Okay. So the next thing here is going to be program assignment for the paid open source model. So we have 9 active programs. For the most part, I'm handling the developer advocate program, so that's going to reduce that to 8 for the committee, and I would reduce that 1 more with the travel. There's not much management to occur there, so that's down to 7. We close all these down just so you guys can kind of get a holistic view here. But of the 7 programs, the maintainer retainer, tooling sustainability, accelerator, bug bounty, code forest. Actually, I'll pull out incident management as well for the time being, and then project support services. What I am looking for, asking in terms of assignment, is of the committee members that are here, is there a particular program that you would feel comfortable assigning yourself to? Right, and I'll put you here in the assignee category. This means that you'd have a joint responsibility to either update this on your own per what the actual contractor statement of work says, or work with me directly to do that asynchronously. I don't want to make too many assumptions here, but Jordan, could we put you on tooling?
I would like to take this a step further, and I would like to recommend that everyone takes something.
Yes.
I think it's important that we delegate this out from experiences at the OSC previously. So everyone, please make sure to take something.
Okay, Georg?
Yep. I'm happy to take tooling.
Thanks, Jordan.
Yeah, thank you, Jordan, for being the first one to take on one of the programs. I want to second what Elaine was saying, that as the open source committee, we have a number of programs, and I think it is good to, especially since we have revolving members in the committee every 6 months, we have people joining and leaving. And I think it's really important that we have one person specialize in the committee on a program. And so by volunteering to pick up you don't have to do all the work yourself, but it's important that one person keeps the program in view and make sure that as milestones are coming up, that we meet those milestones. And it's much easier if each of us just focus on one program, and then when we come together during the meetings, we can share updates, talk about what needs to be done, highlight, hey, this milestone, we need to do this now. That way, I think it's easier because each of us just focus on one program primarily and then help each other. And we have a lot that we want to get done and do. So splitting up and parallelizing makes sense. So I'm all for this approach. I would volunteer for the maintainer retainer program.
Thank you. Yeah, I gotta go right now because I got a work meeting. But yeah, I would like to say, yeah, everyone, please, we need to take something. And Georg's approach is pretty much exactly what I had in mind. So yeah, we'll continue with that. I gotta head out.
Did you get to both polls there, Lane?
I did.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Lane.
Yeah, let's do our best on this. I have high hopes. I'm very excited about the new members and stuff. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bernard.
Yes, I see developer advocate. I just want to request to learn to be there because I've been working with it and I'm still with it.
Yeah, I don't mind putting you on here. I would like to get you on another program as well, because I'm primarily running through this, but I don't mind to work with you and have some additional help on tracking some things here. That'll be super helpful. And then Sebastian, I did note your attention to maintain a retainer. If we need to, I can put you back on there. Just wanted to check if there were any other programs that you would have interest in, or should we have you on tooling and maintainer and leave it from there?
Yeah, I'm reflecting on Georg's idea, and I'm agree. So I can be in the accelerator program.
Okay.
I see nobody. I can take that.
Perfect. Jordan, do you have any willingness to support, not in a lead capacity per se, but any of the other programs?
I don't know if it's related. There was a security incident officer position I applied for, but I don't know if I should be leading the group if I applied for that or not.
Okay.
Text, you can take me out from the tooling. I'll be attending the meetings anyway.
Well, I'll still leave you there. That way we have a backup.
All right. And you can put me in the code for us, please.
Okay. Sure.
Thanks. And thanks, Christian, for the suggestion. I like it.
Okay. Of the committee members remaining, I am still missing a vote on poll number 2. So please make sure Jordan, Sebastian, Bernard, Georg, that you guys have already gotten there.
Where? Oh, is it just right here?
Yeah, on the triangle or meeting dots, or the 9 dots, whatever. Okay.
I can be second also on another group. I like that idea also to have a primary and a secondary. I would like to see, but I want to wait to see what everyone else would like to work on, since I went really early with picking maintain retainer.
Okay.
So
Jordan,
other committee first.
Can I put you on bug bounty as well?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. That's kind of the bridging the gap between actually tooling in the security incident piece there. So because this program's on hold, I'm just going to leave that as Christian for right now. And then I took everybody off of Summer of Code. So
yeah, security, I might only be the connection on just because the council itself also is anonymous, quote unquote. So I have to be that liaison at the moment.
Okay. Georg, if it's okay, I'd like to put you on project support services just as a placeholder for the time being, but we can still move or add you later on in different places.
Yep, then that will be my secondary.
Okay. Bernard, any other programs that you'd be willing to support in a primary or secondary capacity here?
I'm not familiar with them, so but as a secondary, you can put me anywhere where it's lacking.
With which one?
Where do you find a gap?
I'm thinking probably Code Forest might be best in this scenario, because that's going to deal with feature development.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Bernard, you don't need to be an expert in any of these programs right now. That we have a lot of documentation, so once you get a little bit into it, all the updates that Tex was talking about earlier today, that's all documented. So it's more of doing the legwork and spreading out the work amongst the committee members.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I know she's not here, but I'm just putting Reshma in some other places here to kind of help just get integrated. I've also put Uday down for Accelerator and Bug Bounty. I believe his skill set is probably tiered to that a little bit, especially with his joint capacity with TSC. So if you guys see issues as I'm kind of assigning people, let me know. One, two, three, four, five, six. What am I missing? That's a good question. Arnaud and Elaine. Interesting. Okay. Elaine's kind of all over the place. I'm not really going to put her down on any one item because she's got a lot with the contract signing pieces. So if nobody has an issue with that, she's already got a ton of responsibility. Yes, Gareth.
Yeah, that with regards to Elaine, that was my first reaction when you said she's not assigned anywhere. I was thinking about all the things she's doing to make sure we have the schedule, and then making sure we have the reports and having the overview of everything that we are doing. So and Elaine is doing a fantastic job. I don't think it is fair to give her also the detailed level work of one program. So I support that.
Wonderful. Okay. And then I've just placed Arnaud in a couple of categories here. One being maintainer retainer. He was recently involved in those decisions there. And then I know he's tied in on tooling. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
And he may qualify for the security thing. He's been assisting on that from the CF side, at least.
Just putting that stuff there to fill it out then. And I'll put a day here as well. Okay. Obviously, I know some people are not here. For those that are here, do you have an issue with anywhere where you've been assigned? Go ahead, Garrett.
Not an issue with where I'm assigned. My question is about responsibility. So we have signed more than one person, which makes it more challenging to know what is the thing that I need to do next.
Yeah, great. So especially since we are in the recording here, what I would do is I would take a look and see who it is that you are assigned in a group with, right? And then as there is a multiple hour per week or throughout the month commitment here, reach out to these people. Start with DM or a group DM and figure out when you all can get together and meet, and then you all can work on this proactively together. Now, obviously, Christian's tagged on a lot of this stuff. I'm tagged on some of it, but I'm kind of like Elaine. I'm tagged literally everywhere. There's any program that you can invite me to, and if you're going to do individual meetings, I can't guarantee that I can make every single one, but please feel free to put me on the invite, and I will attend as many as I can, especially to ensure that there's cleanliness, if you will, on this dashboard. So yeah, no, that's a great question there. Is there anything else on ClickUp or program assignment right at this moment?
So what I understand is the next step is for the teams that are assigned to each program to self-organize and then come back with an update on the program next week or when we meet again.
Next week would be great. There's a work session. So yes.
Okay.
Okay. Heading back to the agenda here, I'm going to mark this as complete because we went over that. I'm going to put that as in progress because we're constantly working on it. Contract updates in general, that's complete. Program assignment complete here as well. So the Emergo Academy, recently we did take on the content for the Emergo Academy. This is just a general all call for any thoughts. We'll take this from committee members or even the developer advocates here on what would be your opinion or the best ways in which we should move about open sourcing the documentation, and are there any thoughts on how we can validate that what is in the Academy courses is still good, relevant, or how often should we update that? Kind of a general discussion on what we do next year. And we can move that to next week if there's not really a ton of thoughts on this.
I guess I didn't get the initial understanding of this. So they've opened up their library of videos and we're taking responsibility for this. I'm not sure what's going on with this.
Christian?
Hold on, sorry, I got distracted. Side conversation. What are we on?
Emergo Academy.
Okay, so Emergo Academy, we've purchased the assets. I've moved them over, but due to bad Marcom and poor communication, because no one talked with me on leadership side per se, we said we were going to open source this. So I have to figure out what that means. In the sense, we have a bunch of educational content. That content also needs to be reviewed as to what's up to date, what's not. It is community assets to pass out. I'm not used to how to host this per se, because the other question is there needs to be, we have course content, but you do need certification bodies to make it. It could be of value to Intersect to help bring these from an open source education side of things, or just educational content in Cardano in general. But I just wanted to ask y'all's expertise if you've done this before, or what does it mean to open source the Emergo Academy assets? I'm trying to figure out what that means in practicality as well. So that's what that is. It's just a topic. Georg?
So in the Chaos project, we have an education arm, an education program, and they are creating original content that is on open source topics, mostly around chaos. What does it mean to open source education? I've worked in universities, I've created courses, I've worked with the open source initiative on an open source training course. So from that background, the licensing is important to make sure it is license compatible with open source, like a Creative Commons share alike license is what I have used for my open source courses. And then the other part that you have also brought up, Christian, is how is the course marketed and presented and hosted? And so there are platforms for MOOC class, the massive online open courses, like Moodle is a very popular open source tool for that. I'm not sure we want to create our own platform for this, if we have the capacity for that. Otherwise, there are other platforms that we can go to and host things on, like Udemy and others. So we could create the courses there. And it might be as simple as having a wiki page where these resources are linked to, and then promoting that. So there are different options for how to make it available. That's all I have on that topic for now.
Thank you. Jordan? Jordan, did you have your hand raised or?
Sorry, I double muted myself. I'd have to look at the content to see what it contains. But there's like the Harvard edX, which comes to mind, where the content is free, and then there's the option to become like get a certification. I don't know if there's any willingness to try to have a certification that's like paid at the end of the program, where the courses are free to view, and then maybe there's some kind of like certification process at the end for Intersect. But that would seem interesting to me if that was a option.
Yeah, currently right now, basically all Intersect got was, or agreed to, is to bring the content over and make it as a free resource to the community under the term open source. I just need to figure out what that is. And if the committee itself wants to do something, maybe we turn it into a project and a little bit of support services go to hosting it somewhere, maybe. That's one idea I had, but definitely turn to y'all's guidance. Bernard and then Georg.
Yes, it is a valuable asset. Definitely. It is a Emoco Academy had course materials which all of us, we really wanted, but it was a paid activity. So I think open sourcing it is of great help to a lot of people.
Thank you.
What is
Georg?
the format right now that this was given to you in?
I'm sorry, say that again?
What is the current format of the Emurgo Academy content? What did you receive?
I got to go into detail, but it was shared via Google Drive, and it's multiple different things. So you have one that has the basics to Cardano, one that's an icon course, one that's e-learning, and another one. If you want, I can do a quick discovery session with you offline, and then maybe come up with a recommendation path, given your experience. And then we can bring it to next week's session.
Yep, let's take that as an action item that you and I do that.
Would anyone else like to be a part of that, just to see what the content is?
Yes,
Yeah, I'd be
I'm
curious to
interested.
see.
Okay. I'll add
Thank
y'all
you.
three.
Okay. If I may here, I do want to switch up my sharing one more time for those of you that may have missed this in the earlier part of the session. This is the project board under Open Source Office, and it's titled Developer Advocate Program. So I will run back through this on how to get here. So when you view the Intersect organization, you don't have to go to repositories or anything like that. You can simply find Open Source Office down here as one of the pinned repositories. Again, under Open Source Office, we have projects and the Developer Advocate Program. So again, this is being brought up as this is important as an OSC budget item. There are quite a few different tasks and milestones, as some of you may remember, that we went through. If not, highly recommend catching up on the meetings. But on those previous meetings, and I can point those out as need be. But basically, we're going to be getting quite a few submissions from our developer advocates of what they have been doing over the last quarter. Again, I will take on quite a bit of the review on this here as the direct program manager and as the power was previously given from the committee. But I do want to ensure that there is committee member input. So as a committee member, please feel free to go through and have a look at what's been submitted, leave your comments. It does not have to say that it's an explicit approval. Preferably, I'd like to see something that is more than looks good to me or any other abbreviation. But any type of quality detail or qualitative detail that will help build out a positive milestone acceptance form when we're showing the delivery of the developer advocates. And if you have more questions, please feel free to reach out to me at any time. A reminder to our developer advocates, since you guys are still here, please get your items moved over to the OSC TSC review as quickly as possible. Again, I will need to submit anything and everything I have for a milestone acceptance form by the 19th of December. So that gives me 2 weeks. Okay, I hope I didn't interrupt any other topics there, but we are basically here at the end. Questions, comments, concerns, or we can all take a few minutes back. Go ahead.
So going back to the ClickUp training, make sure I use this correctly. Let me show my screen. Like we just decided to have for the Emergo Academy that we wanted to do something. So I went in here, I added Christian, Jordan, and myself. And I know others also said they wanted to be part of it. So please go in and add yourself. And then I moved the status to do, because we still need to do this. And I put in the checklist that, or under action items, that we want to set up a meeting to look through the assets in Core Drive. And then the next thing we needed to do was propose a plan to open source the material. Or yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Is that the correct way of using ClickUp? And is that giving everyone a clear understanding of who is assigned to do what?
Yes, so I think there just may have been some button presses. I would encourage you to move this back to do as the status.
Looks like Bernard, you had changed it to agenda.
Anybody can change the status.
Yeah.
But yeah, so let's fix the. Yeah.
Oh, next status. I see. Okay, that's.
If you
Yeah.
there you go.
Sorry, I made a mistake there.
Okay, so now if you exit out of this in the top right, what I would ask is that you click on the task itself. Please drag that out of agenda. Sorry, click and drag, and let's drag that outside of the agenda so that the task can live on. Because once I finish the meeting minutes and get back through here, I will close and complete all of those items. So just want to drag that down to do. There you go. Cool.
Okay. And then
date. From my side, must I close on ClickUp here? Must I exit?
No, I think you're good.
I'm all right like this.
Yeah, I think this is every change that we make gets automatically synced to everyone. So when you were making changes, that immediately showed up on my side. So I think they can be in there at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll set up a time through Discord, or coordinated time then.
From a user experience too, you may want to edit your settings so you don't get every single notification of a status change. because you can be heavily spammed in email notifications as well. So
Where do you do that? Under settings?
I believe so. Notifications, yeah. So I would disable your email specifically. Just make sure you come and check, click up regularly. But yeah, every time text is in here, I get about 30 to 40. So
Aha! Sounds like a configuration issue. Awesome, thank you. Okay, I'm glad. Yes, let's use ClickUp more. Thank you for showing us how to do it. Having clear responsibilities and action items after every meeting helps to then also follow up the next week or the next meeting that we've done our part that we volunteered for.
Super cool. All right, I will close it from here for everybody. So we'll take 5 minutes back anyway.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
if anyone needs additional onboarding for the new members, we are doing this with one person who's new to the whole thing. Let me and Tex know, and we can catch you up on all the programs and scope. So.
Yes, definitely. I'll need some assistance. Thank you.
Okay, we got you, Bernard. Thank you.